Yes. Well, my name is Jamie Morales. I'm the
Yes.
Director of Secondary Schools with the Jersey Public School System, and I also oversee the high school athletic program as well as the middle school athletic program.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So, like, what made you want to go into this type of career?
Well, to be honest with you, as a young man, I attended James J. Ferris High School. I graduated many, many years ago. I'm the class of
Yeah.
1985.
Yeah.
I recall my senior year wondering what I was going to do. So I was that senior that typically indecisive, didn't know. And then when I realized that many of my friends were already have chosen a school and I still
Yeah.
have made, I got extremely nervous.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful guidance counselor, Miss Robinson,
Yeah.
and I went to Miss Robinson's office and I said, Miss Robinson, I would like to apply to colleges. And at Ferris, I had the opportunity to take courses, industrial arts classes. So we had a wonderful teacher, Mr. Smythe, and he taught us electricity and electronics. And I said, wow, I would like to become that type of teacher. I learned that there's a school by Atlantic City, it's at Glassboro, New Jersey. Right now, the school's named Rowan University. Back then, it was called Glassboro State.
Yeah, I applied there, actually.
Okay, good for you. Very good university. It's grown a lot since I was there,
Yeah.
but I was able to earn my teaching degree and come back to Jersey City to be a full-time teacher. Yes, so.
Would you say that you entering and working in this work field, that the educational system has been like more active? Like, is it like a difference?
Well, definitely now with the social media,
Yeah.
your generation, you guys know how to do this podcast.
Yeah.
We had cassette tapes to listen to music. As I was an older gentleman, I learned about CD players, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I see today's youth, there's a lot of, because of the social media, there's a lot of influences.
Yeah, going on.
You know what I mean? It's already tough to be a young lady, young man growing up as an adolescent.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that can influence you. However, I do like the fact that the schools still keep their mission. I love the fact that you as students and your fellow classmates,
Right.
you're using your creativity, technology
Yeah.
for good use. We would have had an old camcorder and with a big VH, and I wouldn't even know how to edit. I'll just take sounds and pictures and
Yeah.
of the games and so forth. But
Yeah.
today's time for a young adolescent is very challenging. But I do appreciate that many of our students, regardless of where they attend Jersey City, they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing and they're making us proud. So as a former graduate of the public school system, okay, as a teacher, as a former principal and vice principal, it's nice. It's nice that we had a great turnout. These are 8th graders, all
Yeah.
right, learning about innovation.
Yeah,
Snyder,
I was
Lincoln.
surprised to see that there were so many kids that were so interested
Yes.
in different high schools.
Absolutely. And see, things like this, hopefully you guys will put this out on the social media and they'll say, wow, I want to be interested. And
No, definitely.
if you can remember, what grade are you in, may I ask?
I'm a senior.
And you?
I'm sophomore.
Okay, and you?
Sophomore.
Okay, so you have 2 more years here. You'll be doing this. You'll be looking at the podcast and wondering, I wonder if they're still continuing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
But this is a great thing. And it makes the younger generation says, wow, there's some good things that I can be part of.
I also really hope that the more we grow up and like go up to different grades, more
Right.
people join this podcast. So like it keeps going and going and going.
Right. And what happens is at first, when you walk in as a freshman, possibly you're a little shy, you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
You kind of you may know a few folks from around the neighborhood who attend the same school, or some of your classmates that you graduate from the 8th grade. But then all of a sudden, the teachers are doing activities, and you find out and then so you want to be part of it, and you say, okay, I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
I would like to be part of the school's success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I know Mr. Dooley reached out to me early last week and said, Mr. Morales, I'd like to do a podcast. I said, I love the idea.
Yeah.
Pick a section, and hopefully you're getting a lot of students and parents and central office that are willing to sit down and answer your questions.
I heard you talk about how you were nervous about applying for colleges
Yes,
and whatnot. Do you have
yeah.
any pieces of advice or tips for upcoming students that are getting ready to apply to colleges or have not yet
right.
already applied?
I would say, don't hesitate. They say some people are good as procrastinators. They like to basically wait until the last minute and then move forward. However, as we know, the colleges usually by May accept their students. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some are willing to do rolling applications where they want to accept you whenever. But you really have to understand why you want to go to college. So you have to reflect and say, am I going to go away? You know, when I went to Glassboro State, that's what it was called during that when I went there. Now it's Rowan. It was like near Philadelphia. It was by Atlantic City, and I was born and raised in Jersey City.
Yeah.
Two totally different styles of growing up. You know what I mean? So saying goodbye to mom and dad, to my family and friends, my neighborhood, the city that I grew. But I learned some independence. I learned how to just survive on my own, you know, and I think that helped me, you know, in life.
Grow
And
into
it's
the
very
person you are
important.
now.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So I would say to any student that's in the position that I was when I was a senior at Ferris, is to listen. It is February. Please see your school counselor. See your school counselor. And at least listen, it doesn't cost anything to just submit an application. You know what I mean? So that's
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you so much for
I
coming on the
appreciate your
podcast.
time, and once again, thank you for being here. Okay,
Yeah,
you put
thank
a
you
for
smile
being
on
on
the
the
director,
podcast.
Mr. Morales' face.
Thank you.
All right,
problem.
take it easy. Be well, everybody. Take care.
Sure. Okay. Hi, my name is Johnny Abreu.
Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Fernandez, Superintendent of Schools.
So the first question I start off is like, what led you down this career? I know being superintendent has a lot of responsibilities. What told you, like, what gave you the purpose to want to be at the top or like to lead?
Well, I have to be honest. I never thought I would become superintendent. I started out as a teacher, and actually, I was a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, okay.
So I taught every grade level from K to 8. I taught gifted and talented program, but I like learning.
Yeah.
So I went back and I completed my courses and got another certificate, became a certified bilingual bicultural teacher. Then I went back and became a principal. I was the principal of 2 different schools. I started out as an AP, then became a principal, special assistant, director, and I like challenges and I like learning.
yeah.
And so every time I would do a job and go, I like that, and learn something new. And so the opportunity came up. There was a vacancy, and I applied, and I was fortunate to have been chosen as the superintendent.
So I know that there's a lot of things that do go like behind the scenes of Jersey City public schools, and a lot of things that go unnoticed. Like, what is one of those things that people should like learn to appreciate more in that aspect?
One of those things that are not appreciated more is how wonderful our students are inside our buildings. All across all our schools, we have wonderful students. They're working hard. They are doing the right thing. They're striving. They have wonderful success. And that really gets lost sometimes because students may tend to get in trouble. And most of the times it's outside of school. They make poor choices and they get in trouble, but that's not. Inside our schools, we have wonderful students who are working very hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, plan on, like, would you want to upgrade or renovate in the educational system in Jersey City right now?
That I would like to upgrade?
Yeah,
Like
upgrade or
upgrade or, like,
renovate or add
renovate?
new to the Jersey City education.
A big focus is to really prepare. We have very old buildings.
Right.
The infrastructure in all our buildings.
Yeah.
Most of our schools are about 100 years old.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
they need, and you affirmed that very quickly.
Yeah.
But so those buildings need a lot of work. We are working, the board and the administration is working hard
definitely.
to make sure that we bring our buildings up to code in terms of the roofs, the boilers, the things that are the most important. So the needs before we do the wants. Right now we're working on improving facilities. I know in your building we're doing a lot of work outside the perimeter of the building to prevent all that water that seeps into the basement and things like that that are not very glamorous but really improve our buildings. That's something I like to bring to people's attention, as well as the push for student wellness and preparing our students. We have the Student Wellness Initiative, and that's a comprehensive mental health, self-care,
Definitely.
clinics, We've opened mental health clinics
Yeah.
in 5 other high schools.
Yeah.
We also we're opening a Medi Center in 2 schools that we are piloting to see how it works.
Yeah.
One at PS 20, one here. We have
Okay.
one of our community schools that became a fully wraparound community school from mental health to academics for the community. So those are some of the items I like to bring to our community.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have not only been a professional, but you've also like risen to challenges and whatnot. What advice would you give to someone who like wants to do something that's obviously difficult, but they don't have the right type of mentality? Like, what advice would you give them?
Never give up. Many times we have challenges or roadblocks along the way.
Yeah.
We all do in life. It's part of our experience. Don't give up. Learn from it. Sometimes making a mistake or not getting the job is really what challenges us to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In many instances, the playing field is not leveled for everyone, and some
Yeah.
have to work harder than others.
Yeah.
But remember that those difficult experiences are the ones that really make you strong. If things go your way, you're not learning much. It's when you face the challenges and you rise above the challenges that makes you a stronger person
Yeah.
and able to use that experience of resilience to
Yeah.
get better in the future.
Right.
So don't give up on the challenges, learn from them.
No, yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
so much. It's been my pleasure, and
problem.
you can
Yeah.
invite me again
No problem. We'll
if you
definitely
have
love to
a
have you
specific
again.
question.
Oh no, of course, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you so much.
All right, have a good day, man.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Hi.
Hello.
Your name is?
My name is Natalia Ayofi.
Okay.
My name is Zena. Welcome to our innovation podcast.
Thank you so much, Zena, Adama, and John. I
John.
see. Very nice.
Yeah, could you just start off by telling us like what you do and what your position is?
Sure. So, I started out as a parent volunteer in our Jersey City Public School District. I have 2 kids, a 7th grader and a 10th grader
Yeah.
Yeah.
in our schools. And when I started volunteering through a parent council in their elementary school, that's what got me invested into the better being of our schools, how to support them, how to support the principal, the staff. And most of it had to do with budgeting and money and just, trying to help our teachers
Yeah.
with supplies and things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
and activities. And that made me interested in run for this office. It's an elected office. It's a political process. It's not something that gets appointed. It's something that you have to run a citywide campaign for.
Yeah.
And it takes an effort, but it's worth it because then you become one of 9 board members who essentially help govern our schools. And it's a big difference between what the superintendent does, for example, where she actually manages the schools and the staff, whereas this kind of council of board members of 9, they help make sure that the schools are run well. We're not necessarily
Okay.
professionals in the educational field.
Yeah.
We are made up of parents like myself, former educators or active educators,
Yeah.
and former students, believe it or not. So that way we have a unique, each
Yeah.
bring a unique perspective as to what happens in our schools.
Like it all
Hopefully-
connects back to
Exactly,
each other.
exactly. So it's wonderful, actually. I think this is the first year that we are comprised of that kind of team. So I
Yes.
think it really helps.
Perfect. Yeah. So you obviously said that you have 2 kids. So you obviously were a mom. You were definitely not looking toward having a position like this. But what made you like want to strive for a position like this? What made you like want to run?
Certainly. So when you're a parent volunteer in one school, you can only do but so much, and you do as much as you can in order to support your child's school.
Yeah.
But as depending on how active you become as a volunteer in the community, you begin to see a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Living in Jersey City, assuming being born in Jersey City, and growing up here, how different it is, how
Yeah.
complex it is.
Yeah.
One corner is different from the other corner.
Definitely.
Each school is like its own ecosystem and its family with its own dynamic, with its own set of needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One school may be struggling to get a specific after-school program that they just know will benefit their kids. another school may be struggling just with infrastructure, as the superintendent said. Just make sure that the building is fixed and there's no it may be hit with natural disasters more so on its building just because of the location that it's
Yeah.
in. So its entire focus may be about how do we get our classrooms from stop being flooded, or how do we just fortify our
Yeah.
building better,
Yeah.
and things like that. So when you see that as a volunteer and you're thinking, how can I use my experience with my one school that I was able to somehow support and apply it on a larger scale? And it takes dedication and it takes an effort, but that's what makes people, not just me obviously, but other people, want to kind of try and bring their education, their strength, their energy, and apply it on a larger scale and help bring more resources to our schools in ways that each school can benefit for their unique and specific need, whether it's financially or infrastructure-wise or whatever else. Yeah.
Have you always wanted to be in the position since high school?
No,
or-
I don't think so. You know what? It's hard. It's very hard to answer that question because I wasn't born in this country. I was born in Soviet Ukraine. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Soviet Union.
Yeah.
This was in
Yeah,
the olden
yeah,
days.
yeah,
So, and I was born in 1980. There's no secrets about my age. So I came to the United States with my parents. I was 11 years old. So I grew up in Philadelphia public schools. That was
Okay.
my upbringing. So. And I came to Jersey City. I've been living here for almost 20 years. That's where my children were born. So as I was growing up and building my life as an immigrant, it took me a long time to just plant roots and to even understand, do I belong in this country? Am I going to be able to stay here?
Right.
Each immigrant journey is very different. It has its
Yeah.
complexities and fears and stuff. So I started working in the financial field in mortgage banking, and that was my background. And my college education revolved around international management.
Okay.
I was very fortunate to get a job at the United Nations Federal Credit Union, which exposed me to a vast international
Yeah.
community. And that makes me love Jersey City so much because it in itself is like each of our schools is like a mini United Nations.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you guys, I think, have the best privilege in that sense because you see the world in a microcosm in your
Yeah.
respective schools. And it's a beautiful thing because many homogeneous societies now, the world is beginning to open up a little more.
Yeah.
But not every kid, even like in Europe or, any other continent has that same opportunity where
Yeah,
you could just reach out to another desk and have like literally connect to
Yeah.
another a whole other world. So
definitely.
I had no idea. Like, life just took me here and I grabbed at an opportunity and it was through this volunteering that I strived for it. It was a journey. Just like Dr. Fernandez said, you have to lose to win.
Yeah.
You buy for something,
Yeah.
especially if it involves a campaign. Be prepared to lose.
Yeah.
But every loss comes with a learning
Yeah.
to help you win in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So I just have one more question. It's the last one. I'm sorry to give you so many.
Sorry, and I talk a lot.
No, it's okay. The more the better, actually. But with you having so many responsibilities at your on table and on your plate, what are some like tips you can give to like students who are having so many like AP classes and not only that, but have so many just other responsibilities? How to manage that time?
Time management is so important. And I don't have any like secret formulas for that. I could tell you right now. I mean, multitasking is it's an effort. Some people have it naturally. Some people have to work on it. I'm
Yeah.
one of those people that has to work on it. Self-discipline, learning why, just prioritizing for your own self, constant reminding yourself, like, why do I have to wake up at like maybe a little extra early to put in that, or go to bed on time, or, manage my time in the evening to make sure that I get my studying done.
Right.
It's once you have a goal clarified for yourself, I think that helps, right? Because when you know what's at stake. Right now, maybe it's
Yeah.
hard to tell because, your future may still be like, it's still forming.
It's still in the
Yeah.
making.
Right,
Yeah.
for me, it's more definitive because I know exactly what will happen if I don't wake up on time, right? I know exactly what will
Yeah.
happen if I don't do my studying
Yeah.
or preparation. It may be less easy to kind of formulate, but still, you're mature, you're old enough to
Yeah,
understand
somehow.
what you can reach if you put in that time management skills.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that now I've seen a couple of schools are putting out even parent workshops, how to help your children manage their time better. There's no end to learning how to self-organize. That's definitely
Yeah.
a skill, and it's definitely a skill that,
Yeah, most
that,
definitely.
needs to be worked on. But
Yeah.
if you have that goal, that dream, and it's worth fighting for,
Yeah.
and that, let's put it this way, one thing that I want to leave you with, not everybody, like I'm not one of those people that has like oh, it's a natural skill, I have a gift. I have to work on
Work
things
on it,
in
right?
order
Work
to
to
get
get
better
there.
at them.
Yeah,
I'm one
yeah.
of those people. So, you know, that's kind of the importance of it, right?
Yeah.
You still want to achieve something, you know it's worth it, and you
Yeah.
know it's not just about you, but it may involve other lives. So those are your stakes, and that's the responsibility that comes with
Yeah, perfect.
with managing yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
on.
much for
You're
being
welcome.
here
Thank you
on
for
our
having me.
podcast.
Thank you for your
I so
time.
enjoyed it.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
scholars.